Hi everybody, and welcome to Chunk. Before we start, there's a few things we have to get out of the way, just sort of practical things. First, if you wouldn't mind, please, no conspicuous cell phone usage. I just sort of say that because I'm gonna get jealous if I really see you, because I'll be like, oh, I want to do that too. So please try to be aware of that. Now would be a great time to take note of the two exits in the theater. There's one on the right from the stage, and then there's one from the stairs on the left. And that's just in case of an emergency. I will say that there is a moment in the show where we do light the theater on fire, and then the whole thing is sort of ends up engulfed in flame. So I would say now would be a really good time to sort of check those exits, just because, again, if you don't know where they are and you end up staying in the theater, you will sort of be burned alive. And we'll just be meeting at the blue light right outside of Davenport, and there we'll sort of debrief, check in, see where we're at, just sort of like make sure it's a really comfortable, safe space. Let's see what else. There's no food or drink in the theater, unfortunately. I think water is okay. But we do, if you are hungry, fear not, because after the show, I have actually brought in my crock pot, and during the show, put all the ingredients in, and during the show, we're making a really, really nice old family chili recipe, so that should be really exciting. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my god, it just fell. The chili is everywhere. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. It's like all over the equipment. Oh my god, this lighting equipment is so much money. It's like seeping in, and it's all over my costume. I'm wearing a period gown that you'll see in the show. It's really important, and it's from the Yale School of Drama, and it costs $600. Fuck. Oh my god. I get it now. The rule isn't just for you. It's for me too. In the theater. I really just shouldn't have food in the theater. I don't know why I thought it was okay. It's everywhere. The chili is everywhere. It's on the computer. It's in the lighting board. It's in the soundboard. It's in the projector. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this show. Anyway, no smoking. No smoking is really cool. Let's just do it after. So don't smoke in the theater. That's it. Please enjoy Chunk.
Let me sip this ass on you. Show you how I feel. Take this off. You watch me. That's my recipe. Don't take your eyes. Take your eyes off it. Watch it. Grab a hold, don't let go, let me know you're ready. I just wanna show you now, slow it down, alright. You rock hard, I rock steady, and rock right up to the side of my mountain. Right into the bottom of my mountain. I wanna play in real deep, deep. Then dip me underway. Feel my river flow and flow. Hold me till
Hi everybody, and welcome to Chunk. Thank you guys for coming. This is so exciting, and it's so nice to have you all here. So this is, I don't know how many of you guys know this is actually my senior thesis in American Studies. So the stakes could not be higher. No, seriously, whether or not you guys laugh, makes the difference between whether I get, anything from an A to an A minus. Yeah, pretty nervous. To be honest, it feels like a little bit of a weird time to be doing a comedy, just sort of, in a political world that is, I guess, geez, for lack of a better word, just cuckoo bananas. I mean, stuff is bonkers, not to get too real. But I do really believe that comedy is super important. And I've always I feel like jokes just have this incredible power for both good and for evil, you know? Say for example, you make a joke about that slut over there, right? Well, you know what? That slut is Amelia Earhart. And she's been missing for 60 years. And because of that joke, you found her. You're an American hero. So jokes have this really incredible power. And that's sort of what I want to accomplish with this show. Yeah, one thing I really want to make sure happens is I want to be sort of transparent, and I want this to be sort of casual as this can be. So I wanted to maybe take you guys on a little tour of this stage. So we have sort of, and then so that's sort of it. I don't know if you guys can see that, and sort of those are lights. And that's just so you guys can see me. I don't know if you guys can, you might notice I'm sort of walking on this little rectangle of carpeting, and that's just sort of because the floor is gross. I want to make sure I stick to this, but also it actually serves it helps elevate me a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see sort of with the way the theater is angled, it's actually 4 inches. So sort of you see that difference, right? And this is me standing straight up. So it's really important to just have that, sort of let you guys know. Yeah, in interest of transparency, I have some notes, sort of as a background explanation for that. I don't know how much you guys know about neuroscience and stuff, but if you picture a brain, brains usually have so ridges on the outside of them, and that's basically to maximize neuronal connections in the prefrontal cortex and surface area, and that's just important because the prefrontal cortex does things like memory and sort of higher order thinking. My brain, smooth like an egg. So, I mean, imagine literally a hard-boiled egg but wet. And that's sort of and it's the same size, so it's not that big of a deal, but it just means sort of sometimes I'm like, what's the next joke? You know, sort of to explain what's going on there. We actually really super excited. We have a special guest tonight that I want to introduce you guys to. So please join me in welcoming Jennifer Aniston. It's so good. You guys probably know her from Friends and stuff. So just again to give you guys a little background on this is a thesis sort of about comedy and the body and queerness and sort of the ways those all intersect. So Jennifer, I was wondering if you could maybe talk really briefly sort of about what the intersection of all those things means to you. Take it away.
Thank you for the question. There are times when the imperfections of my nails mandate that I force them into my mouth and pull on them with my teeth until the pain is unbearable, and the wetness of my fingertips is a thick saliva pink with blood. There are other times where the lubrication of my arms evaporates and its skin sends off in the wind. I rub and rub, knowing that if I cannot find it in myself to stop, I will rub down to the bone. And each day I get closer and closer to this fate. In times of intimacy fraught with horror, I am bone dry, and in the shame of indulgence, the wetness always gives way to a dryness that threatens to encase me. I am constantly unsure of whether I am too wet or too dry.
Well, thank you so much. It is just so cool to have her in the room. She brings a unique perspective. And I think actually if you were to look, you'd see that in her movies. That's all subtext that I've always seen. All right, I think we're gonna get started with the show. Right before I do that though, would it be okay if I do a quick call and response, sort of just to get you guys pumped up and get me pumped up? Is that good with everyone? Okay, great. So it's pretty straightforward. I think you guys are gonna get it right away. And it's really just to get me feeling good. Okay. When I say go, you say chunk. Go.
Chunk.
Go.
Chunk.
Amazing. Okay. The next one for you. All right. When I say Jennifer, you say Aniston. Jennifer.
Aniston.
Jennifer.
Aniston.
Okay, very good. All right. let's do, I think we have time for one more. Okay. When I say, hey, David, could I talk to you for a second? Great. This is sort of hard to say. It just sometimes feels like there are elements of our friendship that are more than platonic, that are like romantic. And I don't know if I'm like crazy or totally projecting. I guess I just wanted to know if you feel the same way. You say, wow, Charlie. I don't know what to say. I mean, I really do value you as a friend. But I mean, Vance and I are pretty serious. And I think that's where the relationship sort of ends for me. I think it's a friendship. I'm sorry, that's probably not the answer you were looking for, but that's sort of what it is. Okay. Hey, David, could I talk to you? Gosh, this is sort of hard to say. It sometimes feels like there are elements of our friendship that are more than platonic, that are romantic. And I don't know if I'm like crazy or if I'm totally projecting, but it felt like I had to say it, and I guess I just wanted to know if you feel the same way. Yeah, totally. I must have been reading too much into stuff. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming, and I'll be right back.
Donald Trump can kiss my ass! Thank you so much.
time for a quick talk back. So if any of you have any questions, just raise your hand and Sarah will give you the microphone. Any of you guys have any questions? Yeah. Yes, you in the back with the blue baseball cap. Sarah, could we get? Thanks. And you can just pass the microphone. And just make sure you press the bottom of it. Okay. Yeah, you're good to go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely. So thanks for that question. That's a great question. Yeah, the brevity of the piece is definitely intentional. You know, we really felt like when we were writing this that so much had already been said about Donald Trump, right? President Donald Trump. You know, monuments, all of this stuff, right? And I think there's something really powerful in the idea that there's only one thing you have to say. You know, this character we've constructed is an everyman, right? He doesn't know about, you know, the Constitution. He hasn't read it. He knows one thing. Donald Trump can kiss my ass. And the simplicity of that, I think, is really why the work is so powerful. Thank you for that question. Yeah, we have, yes, you in the overalls? Sarah, could we get? Okay, go for it. Okay, I'm actually going to stop you right there. So first of all, I would say that is a little bit more of a comment than a question, but I will address it anyway. I think you're, where do I start? I think you're making a few assumptions here, and frankly, I don't know if they're true. You know, I would say look to your left and look to your right, right? Sure, probably most people in this room are liberal, but you know, we don't know whose Uncle Devin is here from Missouri, right? We don't know whose sister-in-law Karen, you know, came and wandered into the show, right? And maybe they're Trump supporters, and after seeing this, are saying, oh my God, is it really that simple? You know, so no, I don't think we are preaching to the choir. And on top of that, I'll say, so I don't know, sort of to address your second point, I don't know your job. I would just guess, I don't know, accountant, right? You know, you can sit at your job, and you can pick up the phone, and you can call your senators. And that's, you know, your resistance. My work is my resistance. I'm not going to call my senators, right? This is calling my senators. My art is calling my senators. This is a call to my senators. So that's why our resistance is different. And that's why this work is not, you know, it can't, that's why it's so important. So frankly, I disagree. And I thank you for bringing it up, because I think it's always really important to remember. Okay, great. I think we maybe have time for one more. Yes, you have the blue circle scarf in the back. Again. Okay, go for it. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. I don't know if I would use that word, but it's very nice. Yeah, definitely. So, you're right. The work cannot end here. I would consider this a failure if this was the only audience to see it. You know, we want audiences across the country and across the world to be able to experience this. And you know, it just can't end here. And that's why, you know, gosh, I think my producer might get a little angry at me for saying this, but we are in talks with some theaters in New York. We are in talks with the Public Theater, Symphony Space uptown, and then also the
Vassar Theater Workshop, which is in Poughkeepsie. So no, the work will not end here. Because frankly, it can't. You know, it's just too important. It's just too important. Thank you so much for coming. Resist. Thanks. Okay, so in this next segment of the show, I'm going to do some impressions. Just so you guys are aware, I told you guys I was going to bring the stagecraft. The lights are green now, and that means it's a mood shift. Because I saw some of you in the audience like wondering. So I'm going to do some impressions. Okay, this first impression is something I've been doing for a while. I'm going to bring it back. It's my senior thesis. I'm allowed. Okay, so this is an impression of someone amazed by the amount of limes in a store. Oh my god. Okay, this next one, this is an impression of someone who's actively like alarmed by the amount of limes in a store. Okay, alright, this next one is someone who makes wigs for limes for a living, but has been really struggling financially for lack of a clientele. And he doesn't know how he's going to be able to pay his son's medical bills. Walking into a store with just like a ton of limes. Sweetheart, Karen, Jacob's gonna be okay. Okay, okay, this next one, this is a lime-loving goblin. Just like in a store with a ton of limes. Alright, let's see, okay, this next impression, this is an impression of Gordon virus. Okay. Hello, my name is Gordon Virus, but it's not spelled exactly how you might think. That's Gordon Virus, G-O-R-D-O-N space V-I-R-U-S. Gordon Virus. Right. It's just like, it's funny because it's actually exactly how you think of it spelled. So his expectations are just totally wrong. Let me make sure I'm not skipping any. I don't think I am though. Okay, yeah. All right, this next one is an impression of like a man doing stand-up comedy. Okay. You wanna know what I fucking hate with my fucking girlfriend? Like, listen, here's the thing with my fucking girlfriend, right? It's like, guys, if your girlfriend ever tells you that you're not allowed to play Call of Duty, she's like, stop playing Call of Duty and pay attention to me. Two things you can do. Number 1, buy a gun. Number 2, headshot, bitch, what's up? All right. That joke comes from like a summer I spent doing open mics in like Manhattan, New York City, and it would just all be like these 30 and 40-year-old guys who would come in and just be like so like trying to make it in stand-up, but also just having so much like hate in their heart. They'd all like start sets either like that, or they would be like, here's my thing about like gay people. And I'd be like, what is it? No, tell me, let me write it down. I gotta know. There's like an addendum to that impression. But yeah, I'll do it. Okay. It's like, okay. You know what I fucking, listen, you know what I fucking hate? You know my least favorite fucking thing about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire is? Do you want to know what I fucking hate about the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire? That my fucking girlfriend didn't die in it! Alright! Very cool! Okay, alright, I have one more impression for you guys. This is an impression of a woman talking about her mother-in-law. So, we do the move. It's exhausting, of course. Of course, Jerry doesn't help me with anything. I'm doing the whole thing on my own. We're moving across town, but still, it's 2 weeks. I have to pack up the whole house, I have to set up the whole new house. Very tiring. I'm coordinating with the movers, 16-hour days, it's exhausting, right? So I do it. After 2 weeks of coordinating, phone calls, packing, everything. The house finally looks nice. The house finally looks nice. And I say, you know what, we should have some people over to welcome the new house. So we invite a few people over, and I say, you know what, Jerry, we should invite your mother. She's in town, we're gonna invite her. She's very critical, but you know, the house looks nice. Here's the thing. We're missing one box. Got lost in the river, got sent to somewhere else. It's a box with all of our kitchen stuff, right? Some of the cutlery and some of our like plating stuff. So I say, it's fine, you know what, it's fine. Everyone will understand, we just moved. We just moved, it was exhausting, right? So, we have people over, we get really nice stuff, we get nice wine, we get nice cheese, but we don't have a cheese board, right? So I say, you know, it's totally fine, everyone will understand, we'll just put it on a paper plate and we'll serve the wine in plastic cups. I think it's gonna be fine, oh my god, right? So we do, so people are over, we have Jerry's mom is sitting on the couch. So you know, okay, I'm gonna bring this stuff out, put the cheese on the plate, the wine in the fancy wine, sue me, right? Put the fancy wine in the plastic cup. Bring it out to her, set it down. She takes one look at it. She takes one look, looks at it, looks up at me, and goes, a little trade secret. The clapping that happened right before this video wasn't supposed to happen, but I actually loved it. Sorry. Okay, yeah, let's keep going. All right, I have this joke that I'm gonna do next that I've been doing for a really long time, and it's a good joke, but someone recently pointed out to me that the joke, so again, it's a good joke, but it only technically makes sense if we lived in a world where there were only 2 peasants, and their names were Jenny and Marv. And also that, like, in this world, and like just try to place yourself there, you would all understand that, like Jenny's way better. So I'm gonna tell the joke, and just while I'm telling it, could you guys just try, like, sort of, I'm asking you to do a little bit of extra work of just trying to place yourself in a world where all those things are true. 2 peasants, Jenny and Marv, and Jenny's better, okay. And it'll make more sense when I tell the joke. You'll be like, oh, it is good, but it makes more sense. Okay, anyway. Okay, here's the joke. You know, there are 2 types of peasants in this world. Right? Cause there's Jenny. And then there's Marv. And let's just say this. I think I prefer Jenny. So that's the joke. And you see why I sort of have to do that disclaimer. Oh, it's so dumb. All right. So I'm graduating soon, which is crazy, and I've been thinking a lot about time and a lot about death. And it's just frustrating because I've been thinking a lot about like all the ways I could have used time better, right? And all the ways that other people, like if I had more time, I could have done so much. And I feel like I see people wasting time all the time, right? Like I was in this class the other day, and my professor was talking about like, you know, she was saying like, oh, we're talking about the Grand Canyon, and she was like, it's so amazing. It was just like carved. The whole thing was just done by water over like millions of years, and I was just like, I'm sorry. Give me 400 million years, I'll do something a lot better than dig a hole. You didn't want to try like writing? I don't know. You didn't like volunteer once, right? Didn't decide to maybe dip your toes into activism? I don't know. And like meanwhile, I have what, like 75 years max, and like, okay, whatever, it's fine. But I think I'm guilty of it too. I think I waste a lot of time personally. Like, I do feel like if for example, if I had like just taken all the time I have spent pining over straight boys who would never love me back, and I use that time more efficiently, I could have become Julianne Moore by now. And like, I know I see a lot of you in the audience, your faces are kind of like, well, how would that be possible? Okay, step 1, dye my hair. Step 2, take acting classes. Step 3, I don't know, because I haven't had the time, right? Like, just, if I had that time, I'm sure I would be able to get like a little bit farther in the process, do you know what I mean? Yeah, no, it's frustrating. It's also like, another thing, it's sort of along those lines, right? Like, I feel pretty romantically unfulfilled right now as well, and that's like sort of, you know, the clock is ticking on that. If I'm going to have like my amazing Yale relationship, 2 weeks left. I have been single for a really long time now. I've been single for at least like, I think like, the past like 5 or 6 presidential elections. I feel like personally the last time I got like really good dick was like Iran-Contra. And I remember when that was happening, and I just like turned to my friend when the news was breaking, and I was like, you know what? We're gonna get fucked tonight. And we did, so. always keep that joke in, and like afterwards I'm like, I need to cut that. Like, nope. Keep it in. All right. I've been trying to use my time a little bit more efficiently recently. And one way I've been doing that is just by listening to podcasts, because it helps you sort of like fill in the time in between when you're going places. And it's really nice because it means you can have these really awesome conversations with people at parties where people will like come up to you and they'll be like, oh my God, Charlie, did you hear? Like, I was reading this amazing article about this like refugee safe house, in the north, like in northern New York, where like refugees go for when they're making the border crossing into Canada, and I can be like, wait, stop. Yeah, I did already know about that. I actually, I heard about that in a podcast. This American life. Hey, bitch! I'm your aunt! And yeah, hey, would it kill you to call your aunt every once in a while? Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we have a little bit of time for a quick talk back. So if any of you have any questions, just raise your hand and Sarah will bring you the microphone. Yes, you in the Mariners jersey in the back. Sarah? Okay, great. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, so we've actually gotten this question a few times before. And it is, I'll be honest, it's a little bit frustrating. No. I'm not an aunt. Does that mean that, you know, there isn't something essentially and fundamentally human about the aunt experience? No. And so, you know, I don't want this to seem like, you know, this is a show by non-aunts about aunts. We had a lot of aunts, okay, working on the show, right? Our stage manager is an aunt. Our assistant props head was an aunt. Our producer is not an aunt, but her sister is, and she spends a lot of time here. So, you know, this is not, we wanted to tell the aunt story. And we thought it was just too important to not tell. And, you know, there is, I think you're right, there is a problem of access, and there's a problem of opportunity. But I don't think the way we solve that is to not tell those stories until there are more aunts. You know, in a way, it sort of feels like I wasn't even playing the role. I was just channeling the stories of aunts that I'd spoken to. So frankly, you know, we disagree, and I hope you understand sort of where we're coming from with that. Okay, sorry to start off that way. Maybe any other questions? Yes, you with the silver beanie. Actually, in the same row, so we can just, you can just pass it down, yeah. Yeah, go for it. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely. I would say that this work is in direct conversation with the Women's March. Absolutely. You know, there is, I would say, sort of an inherent queerness to the work, right? And thinking, I don't know how much you guys know about the concept of, in queer theory, the concept of chosen family. But it's sort of this idea, to give you just a rough breakdown, it's this idea that when you are gay, you get to choose your family. That's a rough, but not, you know, it's not leaving out that much. It's pretty much it. So we wanted to really think about what is it in the aunt role, what happens when you separate aunt from biology? And what happens when you separate aunt from filiality, even, right? What is the essence, the non-biological essence of the aunt role? And so that's sort of what we were exploring, and I would say, yeah, that is political. Yeah, that is resistance. You know, this work is a challenge to the regime, and is a challenge to the administration, which wants to keep sort of aunt, not right, so that binary, right? So thank you for that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because it is absolutely a political work. Yeah, I think we have time for one more question. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, you with the yellow turtleneck, and Sarah, could we get? Sorry, my producer said, you know, oh, we're going to need 2 microphones for this. I don't think one's fine, but she was right. You guys can just. Okay, great. Go for it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The work cannot end here. It is just too important a story for it to be only seen by this audience. So, and I don't know if my producer is going to get angry at me for saying this, but we are in talks at the theaters in New York. We're in talks at the Public Symphony Space, and then the Vassar Theater Workshop, which is in Poughkeepsie. So no, the work does not end here. And we want everyone possible to see this, because again, we do believe that this is a political piece. And it's just too, gosh, it's just too important for it not to be seen. Yeah, so thank you all for coming. I mean, even you just being here is an act of resistance. Thanks so much. Resist. seem to have lost my precious hound, and I can't find her anywhere. My hound, Roxy, is missing, and I cannot find her. I left to go buy 2 sodas, and when I came back, she wasn't in our seats. I'm afraid she's gone missing. If you wouldn't mind, please look around your chairs to help us find my precious hound, Roxy. I cannot find Roxy anywhere, and I'm afraid that because she loves pavement so, she's gone right to the interstate and will get herself killed by a car or a truck or worse, abducted for her precious fur. Please, will someone help me find my precious hound, Roxy? Don't pay attention to the kiss cam. Look around your chairs. Oh, I have a picture, so you can help reference her. Here she is, please. I need your help in finding her. Anything you can do. She's my best friend. My therapist says we're codependent, but I need her. She's my very best friend. Please, would someone help me find my precious hound, Roxy? You know, when I've done that bit in the past, people always come up to me after the show and say, who performed? Who was that? Because they don't know that it was me. They're like, that was you? And it's just, I guess I just sink into the role. I like the costuming, so surprise. That was me. Gosh, okay, let's see what else we have. We are really rolling along, all right. I was listening to a song the other day that really, really resonated with me. It's a song by The Weeknd. It goes like, it was like, when I'm fucked up, that's the real me. And I just heard that, I was like, whoa. Okay, and I felt like that is so true of me. There's just like sort of one addendum that I feel like there's 2 cases when that's like the real me comes out, right? It's like when I'm fucked up, you know, when I'm like drunk, or like when I'm high, you know what I mean? Like that's like you're getting a real unfiltered thing. Or like alternatively, when I'm saying like Papagena in the Minion voice. Sort of the 2 Papagena! Papagena! Like that's me, you know what I mean? Papagena! Banana! That's like, here I am, you know what I mean? Here I am. Gosh. So I'm single, as I said. Not related. And it's frustrating. I think people give really bad advice to single people like all the time. Like I always get this advice that's like, where people are like, oh, well Charlie, how can you love someone else if you can't love yourself? And I'm like, bitch, that's my go-to move. That's literally my signature thing. That's good. Like people see other people doing that and they're like, did you steal it from Charlie? Because like he really owns that. All right. Let's see what else I told you. No, that's a picture of a raccoon. I look at it, I'm like, okay, word. All right. Okay. Great. This has been a really a year where I've learned a lot about myself. And I've had a lot of weird like body things, like things I've just sort of gotten wrong in my body a lot. And I have this weird, I like was diagnosed recently with this like eye thing, where like, well, okay, so it's not like I'm not like nearsighted, and I'm not like farsighted. It's more just like, so if you were, basically I can't see anything past here. And right, so like, just for example, right now even, you guys are all seeing sort of, you know, the carpet and the screen, nothing. For me, and you know, look, for me to actually see those things is what I, you know, fully. And then right now, I can't see you guys. So, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just like kind of one of those cases where like the only time where it would be sort of disadvantageous is like if right now, like, you know, sort of an attacker for the back of the theater, you know, you guys would all see it immediately. I would not get anything. You know, you guys would have to be like, Charlie, look out. And then, oh, you know what I mean? So it's been a year where I've learned a lot. This is my senior thesis in American Studies, so I'm legally obligated to talk about binaries a little bit more. Sort of technically. So yeah, I get really frustrated with binaries, and I think it's a really limited way that people think. I think people often think in binaries in ways that we don't even realize. You know, like, you know, it's just so limited. You know, people will be like, oh, you know, like, siblings or dating. You know what I mean? It's just like, open your mind. Like, there's so much space in between that. And there, I mean, there's obviously also the classic binary, which I think we all know, the gender binary. And just for anyone who sort of isn't familiar, that's just the binary between women and... I'm so sorry. Women and... It's like literally on the tip of my tongue. I want to say big boy, does that sound right? Grand boy, maybe? Is that something? BFG, does that feel like it's in the right? They're the ones, you guys know what I'm talking about though, right? It's like they're the ones who like, they do more of the like violence, do you know what I mean? Like I overheard, I was in a coffee shop and I overheard two of them arguing over who could hold their breath the longest, like really loudly. It's like them, you know what I mean? Like I feel like you have an image, anyway, women in BFG. So that's a binary that I get really frustrated with. And I feel like pretty much as a rule, I think all binaries, I just don't like them, and I think they should be broken down. The one exception for me is just like working hard and hardly working. Ironclad. No idea. You are, in my view, working hard or hardly working, right? And there is no wiggle room here. All right. Okay, so I think I really like music, so I think the next part of the show I wanted to do a little bit of musical comedy for you, so I'm just going to grab a prop. Anyway, okay, so I wanted to tell a story quickly about a musical story about my family and what happens when we have family dinner. So as a little background, there's 5 of us. There's my dad, my stepmom, my brother, my other brother, and me. And every night we sit down for these big family dinners. And it's always pretty crazy, but this one night, things got especially insane. See, as soon as we sit down, my dad immediately goes, and that's when things really hit the fan. See, after that, my stepmom, of course, chimes in with, that's when things really got nuts. See, my brother, the thing you have to know about my brother is he's really animated. So he, of course, has to pop in with this little ditty. And wouldn't you know it, at that exact moment, of course, bursts through the door, my uncle. Now here's the one thing you need to know about my uncle. He's very patriotic. Right.
Estoy en la piscina. I am in the pool. Enrique Iglesias es también en la piscina. Enrique Iglesias is also in the pool. Estoy en la piscina con Enrique Iglesias. I am in the pool with Enrique Iglesias. Tengo miedo de lo que soy capaz. I'm afraid of what I'm capable of. Tengo miedo de mi poder. I'm afraid of my power.
So we're almost at the end of the show, which is crazy. No, I'm supposed to be over here. Got it. So I felt like I didn't want you guys to leave without feeling like you had sort of a sense of who I am as a person. So I thought I would share something kind of personal, like a sexual fantasy that I have. So I'm gonna go for it. Okay. So anyway, I'm on the beach, and I'm sort of just splashing around, playing in the waves. And out of the corner of my eye, I see this lifeguard, and he's like gorgeous. He's like huge. He's built. He's jacked. Whatever. And I see that he's looking at me, and he's sort of watching me. So I'm like, okay, but I'm gonna try to play it cool. So I go back to just like sort of splashing around. But I notice that like he's still looking at me. So I decide that I'm just going to kind of go for it. So I sort of sidle up onto the sand in sort of a come hither way, right? And he sees me, and he walks down. So he's approaching me, and he gets right next to me, and sort of gets right down next to me, and he takes 2 fingers and starts slowly circling my blowhole. Oh my god! I forgot to tell you. In this fantasy, I'm a dolphin. Anyway, at this point I'm beached, and don't know how I'm going to be able to get back into the water, and so I'm afraid I'm going to die. So I start making sort of the guttural cries, right? You know, but here's the thing, right? So I don't die because he's this guy, this lifeguard. He's really strong. So he sees that I'm in crisis, and so he takes his two big arms and sort of wraps them around my slick, wet skin and hoists me up. And remember, bottlenose dolphins can get to be about 1,500 pounds. He's really strong. And he sort of lifts me up and walks me back into deeper water where I swim away and survive. So that's like most of the fantasy. That's what we're gonna show. Oh, well, there's also like an addendum to it. So basically, where it's a year later, and I am swimming in the open ocean with my pod, and I see a boat drive into the water and drop down a scuba diver, and I immediately recognize that it's him. It's the diver. And basically, so I see him, and I'm about to go up to him. But right before I do, there's this hammerhead shark that comes and sort of gets right between us. And it starts slowly, pretty far away at first, but getting closer, circling him. And I see he's not too worried at first, but the shark is really clearly has an eye on him. He's circling and getting a little bit closer and closer. But here's the thing. He knows, and I know, that sometimes dolphins, groups of dolphins, have been known to actually save divers from shark attacks because they feel sort of a shared mammal affinity. So he knows that, and I'm with my pod. I know that, and at this point, the shark is really close. And so I'm about to go sort of tell them to go over and rescue him. But I don't. And the shark gets closer and closer until it rips into him and just tears him limb from limb. He dies and drowns in the water. And I don't know why I didn't stop it. So that's the fantasy. Oh my god, it feels so weird to share. I hope you guys don't judge me. Okay. All right. So again, we're pretty much at the end of the show. So right before we end, we have two more things. I just wanted to really thank some of the people who've been super influential and important in this show. So just a background on this slide. I decided it would be really powerful if I wrote thank you in every language I knew. So I wanted to first thank Professor Ron Gregg, who's my advisor. One thing a lot of people don't know about Ron Gregg is that he has sort of like a more dangerous alter ego. So this is Ron Gregg, and this is Wrong Gregg. Okay. So this is Haja. Haja worked on the show. Haja's so great. One thing a lot of people actually don't know about Haja, and she's gonna be like, oh, you totally put me in the limelight, is that she actually knows a little bit of magic. And the way we met it's sort of a funny story. She was walking on the beach, and she found this open-faced clam, someone had ripped the top shell of the clam off, and it was just sort of this little mucusy thing drying up in the sun. And she decided to use her magic to endow it with human life, and that's why I'm here. So thank you so much. Okay, this is Rafi. Rafi is so amazing. A lot of people don't know this, but she actually has more YouTube views than Shakira. This was fun with Rafi because we both sort of, we taught each other a lot. Because when Rafi first started working with us, she had straight hair, and it became clear that she thought that her hair naturally grows curly, and she thought that meant she was sick. And it was the rest of us that I just told her, no, that's just how it grows. That's totally fine. So now she has curly hair. So it's nice to sort of see, we all helped each other there. Emma, the amazing, this is a great picture of Emma. Weirdly, I could not make it bigger than this. It's sort of naturally restricted itself. I don't know what's going on there. Emma's actually, I don't know if you can see her, she's in that little room in the back. Emma, what are you doing What are you doing up there? Come down here. Why are you, oh my god, she's so weird. Why aren't you watching the show? Okay, whatever. Alright, next slide. Okay, this is Zack. Zack and I actually have known each other for a while. He directed the show. This is us backstage in Merrily We Roll Along in 10th grade, in our 10th grade production. This is Anna Gasha. Do not pay attention to her. It's not the point, okay? This is Zack's moment. Okay. Zack asked me when I was making these slides, he was like, do whatever you want, just remember that I really love the Greeks and sort of Grecian things, so that's why I chose that font. As a little background. Okay, and I think that's it. So I have one more last thing, sort of a thank you guys to you. Thank you guys all for coming. Yeah, it's been fun. All right, let's go for it. I worry about nothing, I worry not nada. I'm sitting pretty impatient, but I know you gotta put in them hours, I'ma make it harder. I'm sending pic after picture, I get you fired. I know you're You don't gotta go to work, but you gotta put in work. Let me go to work. Let my body do the work. You can work from home. Oh, we can work from home. Oh, let's put it into motion. I'll give you a promotion. I'll make it feel like a vacay. Turn the bed into an ocean. We don't need nobody. I just need your body. Nothing but sheets in between us. Ain't no getting off early. I know you're You don't gotta go to work, but you gotta put in work. You don't gotta go to work, but you let me body do the work. We can work from home. Oh, we can work from home. Oh yeah. Girl, go to work for me. Can you make it clap? No hands for me. Take to the ground, pick it up for me. Look back at it all for me. Put it in work like time sheet. She ride it like a 63. Let her ride in a foreign with me. Oh yeah, she the bay, I'm her boo, and she down. Break the rules, ride or die. She gon' go, I won't judge. She finesse, I pipe up, she take that. Put it over, dive on your body. We don't gotta go to work, but you gotta put in work. work. Let my body do the work, 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 work. Let my body do the work.